While wealthy Americans pay $2 million for a modest beach cottage in the Hamptons, there are stunning Mediterranean homes sitting empty on Spain's coast for just $55,000. These aren't ruins or remote shacks. They're move-in ready properties with sea views that locals are practically giving away. Why? Because they know something the rich haven't figured out yet. Today, we're uncovering 8 Spanish coastal gems where your money goes further than you ever imagined. And number 2, it'll completely change how you think about retirement. Stay until the end. You won't believe what's possible. Number 8, Águilas, Murcia. Picture yourself sipping morning coffee on a sun-drenched terrace, watching fishing boats bob in crystalline waters, while the scent of orange blossoms drifts through your open windows. This is Águilas, a forgotten corner of Spain's Costa Cálida, where time moves like warm honey and stress simply evaporates. Here, traditional Spanish life continues unchanged. Elderly men gather in plaza shadows, clicking dominoes and debating football. Women hang laundry from wrought iron balconies, while children's laughter echoes off ancient stone walls. The town feels authentic, untouched by mass tourism's plastic veneer. A 2-bedroom apartment just 200 meters from the beach? $52,000. That's less than a luxury car. These aren't cramped studios. We're talking 80 square meter homes with marble floors, fitted kitchens, and balconies overlooking the Mediterranean. Monthly living costs hover around $1,200, including utilities, groceries, and dining out twice weekly at family-run restaurants where fresh paella costs $12. Your biggest expense will be the $45 monthly community fee for building maintenance. Internet runs $35. A weekly grocery shop for 2 people rarely exceeds $60, and that includes Spanish wine that would cost $25 a bottle back home. Águilas sits in Murcia, one of Spain's safest regions, with crime rates 60% below the European average. The local police know everyone by name, and the biggest concern is finding parking during the annual carnival. Spain's non-lucrative visa welcomes retirees with passive income of just $2,400 monthly, easily achievable if you own property elsewhere. Healthcare here is world-class. The regional hospital is 20 minutes away, and many staff speak English. Private health insurance costs $80 monthly and covers everything from routine checkups to emergency surgery. When Maria, a retired teacher from Chicago, bought her Águilas apartment for $49,000, her neighbors thought she was crazy. Why would anyone leave America for this sleepy place? They asked. 3 years later, as she tends her rooftop garden overlooking ancient Roman ruins and endless blue sea, Maria knows exactly why. Her Social Security check covers everything, and she's never felt more alive. Number 7, Garrucha, Almeria. Imagine stepping into a postcard where flamingo pink sunsets paint the sky every evening, and the only sounds are gentle waves and distant flamenco guitar. Garrucha isn't just a town. It's a Mediterranean dream that most people will never discover. This Andalusian fishing village clings to traditions as old as the Moorish watchtower overlooking its harbor. Fishermen still mend nets by hand, while their wives sell the day's catch in the central market. The pace here isn't just slow, it's deliberately mindful, as if the entire town has collectively decided that rushing is a foreign concept. A fully renovated townhouse with 3 bedrooms, a private patio, and views of both mountains and sea costs $58,000. In Malibu, that wouldn't cover the annual property taxes. These homes come with original terracotta floors, exposed beam ceilings, and enough character to make design magazines weep with envy. Living costs are almost embarrassingly low. A 3-course lunch with wine at the best restaurant in town? $18. Monthly utilities for a 3-bedroom house average $95. Even running air conditioning through the scorching summer months. Fresh produce from local farms costs half of what you'd pay for imported vegetables in American supermarkets. The annual property tax on a $58,000 home is roughly $290. Yes, for the entire year. Almeria province has Spain's lowest crime rate, lower than rural Vermont. Violent crime is virtually non-existent, and petty theft usually involves someone accidentally taking the wrong bicycle from outside the church. The Civil Guard station has 2 officers who mostly help tourists find the best tapas bars. Spain's healthcare system ranks 7th globally, and Garrucha's medical center handles most needs locally. For specialists, the provincial hospital in Almeria is 45 minutes away and provides services that rival any American medical facility, without the insurance nightmares or bankruptcy-inducing bills. Here's what wealthy investors miss. You don't need Spain's €500,000 golden visa for these properties. The standard non-lucrative visa works perfectly and costs under $1,000 to obtain. You'll need to prove passive income of about $2,400 monthly, but considering your total living costs in Garrucha will be under $1,500, this requirement is laughably easy to meet. Number 6. Mojácar, Almeria. Perched on a hillside like a collection of white sugar cubes scattered by the gods, Mojácar is where Spain's Moorish past meets its Mediterranean future. Narrow cobblestone streets wind between cube-shaped houses that have stood for centuries, their whitewashed walls gleaming against an impossibly blue sky. This isn't just a pretty village, it's a functioning community where international residents have quietly built one of Europe's most enviable lifestyles. Artist studios occupy former grain stores, while rooftop terraces serve as galleries for sunset viewing sessions that draw neighbors together every evening. A 2-bedroom village house with original architectural details costs $54,000. These aren't just homes. They're pieces of living history with thick walls that keep interiors cool without air conditioning, and private courtyards perfect for morning yoga or evening wine. Beach properties cost slightly more, around $67,000 for a modern apartment with sea views and community pool access. But consider this. The monthly community fees include pool maintenance, garden care, and 24-hour security, all for $65 monthly. Daily life costs remain refreshingly low. The local bakery sells warm bread for $1.20 per loaf. A bottle of excellent local wine costs $3.50. Even tourist restaurants rarely charge more than $25 for a complete meal with drinks. Mojácar's international community creates a unique safety net. English, German, and Dutch residents mix seamlessly with Spanish locals, creating a multicultural environment where everyone looks out for each other. The town's WhatsApp groups coordinate everything from dinner parties to emergency assistance. Crime is so rare that most residents don't bother locking their cars. The biggest safety concern is navigating the narrow streets without scraping your mirror on ancient stone walls. Here's what makes Mojácar special for English speakers. You don't need perfect Spanish to thrive. The international community creates a buffer zone where you can learn the language gradually, while still accessing services, healthcare, and social connections immediately. If this sounds like the life you've been dreaming of, consider hitting subscribe. It really helps us continue bringing you these hidden gems that most people will never discover. Number 5. Vera, Almeria. Close your eyes and imagine endless beaches stretching to the horizon, backed by dramatic mountains that glow purple at sunset. Now picture yourself owning a piece of this paradise for less than the cost of a luxury sedan. This is Vera, Spain's best-kept secret where natural beauty meets impossible affordability. Vera isn't just about the stunning 6-kilometer coastline. The inland village maintains authentic Spanish character, with weekly markets overflowing with fresh produce and family-run shops that have served the same customers for generations. It's a place where your neighbor will bring you homemade gazpacho simply because they made too much. A modern 2-bedroom apartment 400 meters from Vera's pristine beach costs $56,000. These aren't dated 1970s units. We're talking contemporary design with marble countertops, built-in wardrobes, and terraces large enough for proper entertaining. For those preferring traditional Spanish architecture, a renovated village house with original features runs $48,000. These properties include private patios, original tile work, and enough character to make your friends back home quietly envious of your Instagram posts. Monthly living expenses total approximately $1,100, including utilities, groceries, dining out, and entertainment. A round of golf at the championship course costs $35, less than cart rental at most American clubs. Vera offers something rare in rural Spain: excellent infrastructure. High-speed fiber internet reaches 100 megabits per second for $45 monthly. The N340 highway connects you to Almería Airport in 90 minutes, while the A high-speed train whisks you to Madrid in under 4 hours. The local medical center provides comprehensive care, with English-speaking staff available for complex consultations. For specialized treatment, both Murcia and Granada offer world-class facilities within 2 hours' drive. Spain's residency requirements become incredibly easy to meet at these price points. With property ownership costs so low, you'll have significant savings to demonstrate the required passive income. Many residents discover their pensions stretch so far that they actually save money while living better than they ever have. When Carlos and Linda sold their Phoenix condo for $340,000, they bought 3 properties in Vera, a beach apartment for $56,000, a village house for $48,000, and a small commercial space for $35,000 that they rent out. Their rental income alone covers all living expenses, while their savings grow instead of shrinking. We went from worrying about money to having more than we know what to do with. Linda laughs from her terrace overlooking the Mediterranean. Number 4. Carboneras, Almería. Imagine a coastline so dramatic that Hollywood directors scout it for epic film scenes, where volcanic cliffs plunge into waters so clear you can see the bottom at 30 feet. Carboneras isn't just beautiful, it's otherworldly, like living inside a National Geographic documentary where you're the only tourist. This former fishing village sits within Cabo de Gata Natural Park, Spain's largest marine reserve. The landscape looks more like Hawaii than Europe, with black volcanic beaches, hidden coves, accessible only by foot, and a sense of pristine wilderness that's increasingly rare in the Mediterranean. A 3-bedroom house with panoramic sea views costs $61,000. In Carmel, California, with similar dramatic coastline, that wouldn't cover a storage shed. These properties often include large terraces, private gardens, and architectural details that reflect the area's unique volcanic landscape. Beachfront apartments start at $52,000 for 2 bedrooms with direct beach access. The monthly community fees average $55 and include maintenance of the building's dramatic cliffside position, engineering that would cost millions to replicate. Living costs reflect the area's protected status, which limits commercial development and keeps prices authentically low. The weekly farmers market sells organic produce at prices that shame American supermarkets. A kilo of fresh tomatoes costs $1.80. Local fishermen sell their catch directly to residents at prices that make grocery store seafood seem like highway robbery. Carboneras offers something money can't buy elsewhere: air quality that exceeds World Health Organization standards by substantial margins. The protected park status means no industrial pollution, limited traffic, and an environment so clean that residents often comment on immediate health improvements. The natural setting encourages active lifestyles. Hiking trails wind through volcanic landscapes, while protected beaches offer some of Europe's best snorkeling and diving. Many residents find themselves in the best shape of their lives simply by living their daily routines in this spectacular environment. The town's protected status creates unique advantages and considerations. Development restrictions mean your property values remain stable. No worry about high-rise condos blocking your view. However, this also means fewer commercial amenities, so residents typically drive 30 minutes to larger towns for major shopping. The trade-off appeals to those seeking authentic tranquility over convenience. Carboneras residents often describe feeling like they've discovered a secret that the rest of the world hasn't figured out yet. Number 3. Cuevas de la Almanzora, Almería. Step into a landscape that defies European expectations. A moonscape of ancient caves carved into hillsides, where modern Spaniards have transformed prehistoric dwellings into contemporary homes with all the amenities of 21st century living. This isn't just unusual, it's revolutionary. Cuevas del Almanzora translates to Caves of the Almanzora, and that name isn't metaphorical. Thousands of residents live in cave houses carved into the hillsides centuries ago, now equipped with electricity, plumbing, internet, and climate control that maintains perfect temperatures year-round without air conditioning. A fully modernized 3-bedroom cave house costs $45,000. These aren't primitive dwellings. They're architectural marvels with carved stone walls, vaulted ceilings, and natural insulation that keeps interiors at perfect temperatures, regardless of outside weather. Many feature private courtyards, modern kitchens, and bathrooms that rival luxury hotels. Traditional above-ground houses cost even less, starting at $38,000 for completely renovated properties, with mountain views and enough land for extensive gardens. The combination of low property prices and minimal utility costs creates a cost of living that seems almost fictional. Monthly expenses rarely exceed $900 for a comfortable lifestyle, including all utilities, groceries, dining out, and entertainment. The cave house's natural insulation means heating and cooling costs are virtually zero. A year-round temperature of 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit, without artificial climate control. Living in a cave house provides benefits beyond cost savings. The natural acoustics create perfect silence. No traffic noise, no neighbor sounds, just peaceful tranquility. The thick stone walls provide natural Wi-Fi amplification, while the consistent temperature creates ideal conditions for wine storage and food preservation. Many residents become amateur archaeologists, discovering pottery shards, ancient tools, and architectural details as they renovate their properties. It's like living in a museum where you're both curator and primary resident. The cave-dwelling community includes Spanish locals, whose families have lived underground for generations, alongside international residents, drawn by the unique lifestyle and incredible affordability. The cultural exchange creates a fascinating dynamic, where ancient traditions meet contemporary innovation. Local festivals celebrate the area's unique heritage with cave house tours, traditional food preparation demonstrations, and underground art exhibitions. It's a living, breathing example of how historical preservation can enhance rather than limit modern life. Despite the prehistoric appearance, infrastructure is thoroughly modern. High-speed internet, reliable electricity, and modern plumbing serve all cave dwellings. The town center provides all essential services within walking distance, while larger cities are easily accessible by car or public transport. Before we reveal our top 2, tell us in the comments, would you consider living in a cave house? Or does the idea seem too unusual? Your honest thoughts help us understand what kinds of properties to feature in future videos. Number 2. Palomares, Almeria. Here's where our story takes an unexpected turn that explains why these properties remain so affordable and why that's about to change dramatically. Palomares looks like paradise. Endless beaches, crystal clear water, mountains framing the horizon, and properties so cheap they seem like pricing errors. But there's a reason locals whisper when they mention this place. In 1966, a U.S. military accident scattered radioactive material across Palomares' agricultural areas. The cleanup took months, the media attention was global, and the stigma has lingered for nearly 60 years. Local real estate prices never recovered, creating one of the Mediterranean's most stunning bargains for those who understand the actual science. Multiple international studies, including recent investigations by Spanish nuclear authorities and independent environmental groups, confirm that Palomares is completely safe for habitation. Background radiation levels are lower than many major cities worldwide. The beaches test cleaner than popular Mediterranean tourist destinations. The agricultural products grown here meet the strictest European safety standards. Yet perception persists, keeping property prices artificially depressed while creating extraordinary opportunities for informed buyers. Beachfront villas that would cost $3 million in similar Mediterranean locations sell for $89,000. Three-bedroom homes with private pools and sea views cost $67,000. Modern apartments 50 meters from pristine beaches start at $41,000, less than many people spend on cars. These aren't distressed properties requiring massive renovation. We're talking about move-in ready homes with marble floors, fitted kitchens, and terraces that overlook some of Europe's most beautiful coastline. Monthly living costs average $1,050, including utilities, groceries, dining out, and entertainment. The local restaurants serve fresh seafood that rivals anything in Barcelona or Valencia, but at prices that reflect the area's undervalued status. Here's what's fascinating. While general public perception keeps prices low, sophisticated investors are quietly accumulating properties. Environmental scientists, nuclear engineers, and medical professionals who understand radiation science have bought extensively in Palomares over the past decade. They recognize what local Spaniards already know. This is one of the safest, most beautiful places on the Mediterranean. The stigma that created the bargain prices is slowly fading as younger generations research the science rather than relying on decades-old fears. Palomares offers resort-quality amenities at village prices. The beaches rival anything in the Balearic Islands, but without the crowds or inflated costs. Golf courses, tennis clubs, and marina facilities serve a sophisticated international community that's grown steadily despite the area's reputation. The town provides all essential services, while larger cities like Almeria and Murcia offer urban amenities within easy driving distance. Airport access is excellent, with direct flights to major European cities from Almeria. Property values in Palomares have increased 23% over the past 5 years as scientific understanding spreads and generational attitudes shift. Early buyers are seeing appreciation rates that exceed most traditional investment vehicles, while enjoying a lifestyle that money can't buy in conventional luxury markets. Environmental monitoring continues to confirm safety levels that exceed EU standards. As this data becomes more widely known, the price differential between Palomares and similar coastal areas will inevitably narrow. When Tom and Margaret, both retired physicians from Seattle, bought their Palomares villa for $78,000, their medical colleagues questioned their sanity. "You understand radiation better than most people," Tom explained. "The science is clear. This place is safer than downtown Seattle." 3 years later, their property is worth $103,000. Their living costs are 1/3 of what they paid in Washington, and they spend their days on beaches that rival anything they've seen in 40 years of international travel. Number 1. Pulpí, Almeria. And here's our number 1, a place so extraordinary that it sounds fictional until you see it with your own eyes. Pulpí contains Europe's largest geode cave, discovered only in 1999, filled with crystals the size of telephone poles that create an underground cathedral of impossible beauty. But that's just the beginning of what makes this town special. Pulpí sits where the Mediterranean meets the dramatic Sierra de la Guilon Mountains, creating microclimates that provide 320 days of sunshine annually, while maintaining comfortable temperatures even in peak summer. The landscape shifts from pristine beaches to rolling hills covered in ancient olive groves within just a few kilometers. A renovated cortillo, traditional Spanish farmhouse with 4 bedrooms, original architectural details, and 2 hectares of productive olive groves costs $73,000. In Tuscany, a similar property would approach $2 million. These estates often include century-old olive trees that produce enough high-quality oil for personal use and local sale. Beachside apartments with panoramic sea views start at $46,000 for 2 bedrooms. The building quality reflects Spanish construction standards that prioritize durability over speed. Thick walls, quality tiles, and architectural details that age gracefully, rather than requiring constant maintenance. Village houses in Pulpí's historic center cost as little as $35,000 for completely renovated properties with traditional features like exposed beams, terracotta floors, and private courtyards perfect for the Spanish lifestyle of outdoor living. Pulpí offers something rare in expat communities: seamless integration with authentic Spanish culture. The town maintains traditional festivals, weekly markets, and social customs that welcome international residents while preserving local character. You'll find yourself learning Spanish naturally through daily interactions rather than formal classes. The pace of life follows natural rhythms. Shops close for siesta. Meals happen when hunger strikes rather than by clock schedules. And social interactions prioritize quality over efficiency. It's a lifestyle that many discover they've been unconsciously seeking their entire lives. Monthly living costs in Pulpí average $975 for a comfortable lifestyle, including utilities, groceries, dining out twice weekly, and entertainment. The local economy provides opportunities for small business ventures. Many residents open cafes, shops, or services catering to the growing international community. Property taxes remain laughably low. The annual rate on a $73,000 cortijo is approximately $365. Home insurance costs $180 yearly. These carrying costs are so minimal that many residents purchase multiple properties as investments or family retreats. Pulpí's location between established coastal resort areas suggests inevitable development pressure. The town sits directly between major tourist destinations, with excellent highway access and proximity to airports. As coastal Spain continues developing, Pulpí represents one of the last affordable entry points to Mediterranean beachfront living. Recent infrastructure improvements include upgraded water systems, expanded internet coverage, and road improvements that enhance accessibility without destroying the area's character. The local government actively courts sustainable development that preserves environmental and cultural values while improving economic opportunities. The town's medical center provides comprehensive primary care, with English-speaking staff available for international residents. Specialized services are accessible in nearby Almeria, while emergency care meets European standards for response time and quality. Banking, legal services, and administrative support for residency applications are readily available locally. Many professionals specifically serve international residents, streamlining processes that can be complex in less internationally oriented communities. Meet Richard and Susan, former Manhattan residents, who sold their one-bedroom apartment for $890,000 and bought a four-bedroom cortijo in Pulpí for $68,000. They invested another $15,000 in renovations, creating their dream home for less than $85,000 total. Their remaining savings generate enough passive income to cover all living expenses, while their lifestyle includes daily walks through olive groves, weekly trips to pristine beaches, and a social calendar that would exhaust most 30-year-olds. We went from feeling old and tired to feeling young and energetic. Susan reflects from her terrace overlooking mountains that glow gold at sunset. These properties remain affordable because of perception, not reality. Local Spaniards often prefer coastal cities with established amenities. International buyers typically focus on well-known destinations like Valencia or Barcelona. Meanwhile, these hidden gems offer the same climate, similar amenities, and often superior value. The wealthy are slowly discovering what locals have always known. These areas provide authentic Spanish living at prices that seem impossible. As remote work enables location independence and cost of living pressures mount, these markets are experiencing quiet but steady appreciation. The question isn't whether these bargains will last, it's how long you have before they disappear. Property markets in similar Spanish coastal areas have seen 40 to 60% appreciation as international awareness grows. Your next step? Research visa requirements, tax implications, and property purchase procedures. Spain's residency programs are designed to attract international residents, but the process requires proper planning. Don't forget to check out our next video exploring Portugal's equally stunning bargains. You'll be amazed at what's possible when you start thinking beyond traditional retirement destinations. Subscribe if this opened your eyes to new possibilities, and let us know in the comments which destination surprised you most. The Mediterranean lifestyle you've dreamed about might be more accessible than you ever imagined.